Hello, future biologists. Welcome to a fascinating journey into the anatomy of flowering plants. Today, we'll unravel the secrets of plant tissues, focusing on meristematic and permanent types. Get ready to explore how plants grow, support themselves, and transport vital substances, progressing through easy, medium, hard, and hardest levels of understanding. Let's begin. Starting simple, let's understand the basic building blocks that make up a plant's structure and enable its growth. Imagine a plant as a bustling city, where different groups of cells form specialized teams called tissues. A tissue is simply a group of similar cells working together to perform a specific job. In plants, tissues are crucial for everything from growing tall to transporting water and storing food. They are the fundamental units that ensure the plant's survival and proper functioning. Think of meristematic tissues as the plant's growth engines. These are special tissues with cells that continuously divide, allowing the plant to grow in length and thickness. You'll find them at the tips of roots and shoots, constantly adding new cells. On the other hand, permanent tissues are like the specialized workers. They originate from meristematic tissues but have lost their ability to divide. Instead, they differentiate to perform specific tasks, like providing protection or transporting nutrients. They can be simple, made of one cell type, or complex, made of several. For instance, the cells forming the outer protective layer, the epidermis, or water-conducting vessels like xylem, are permanent tissues. Time to test your basic understanding. Which plant tissue is responsible for continuous growth? Where would you typically find meristematic tissue? And what's the main characteristic differentiating permanent from meristematic tissues? Pause, think, and answer these fundamental questions to solidify your easy-level grasp. Now, let's dive a bit deeper into the fascinating world of plant tissues, exploring their specific types and roles. Meristematic tissues aren't all the same. We have apical meristems at the very tips of roots and shoots, driving primary growth, making the plant taller or roots longer. Then there's intercalary meristem, tucked between permanent tissues, particularly at leaf bases or internodes in grasses, helping them elongate or regrow after grazing. Lastly, lateral meristems, like the vascular cambium and cork cambium, are found along the sides, responsible for secondary growth, which increases the plant's girth or thickness. Moving to permanent tissues, we first encounter the simple ones, made of a single cell type. Parenchyma, the most abundant, are living, thin-walled cells, crucial for storing food, water, and even performing photosynthesis. Collenchyma cells are living but have thickened corners due to pectin, providing flexible support to young stems. Sclerenchyma, in contrast, consists of dead cells with thick, lignified walls, offering rigid mechanical strength and protection, like the tough shells of nuts. Next, the complex permanent tissues, xylem and phloem, are the plant's sophisticated transport systems. Xylem is the water pipeline, moving water and minerals from roots up to the leaves. It's made of tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma, and fibers. Phloem is the food delivery service, transporting sugars made in the leaves to other parts. It comprises sieve tube elements, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and fibers. Together, these tissues ensure efficient distribution throughout the plant. Ready for some medium-level challenges? Distinguish between apical and lateral meristems. Name the three simple permanent tissues and their functions. Which complex tissue carries water? Why are collenchyma walls thickened at corners? And which meristem causes girth increase? Test your knowledge. Alright, let's step up our game. Prepare to analyze the intricate details and connections within plant tissues. Let's refine our understanding of meristematic tissues by differentiating between primary and secondary meristems. Primary meristems, which include apical and intercalary meristems, are present from the plant's embryonic stage. They are solely responsible for primary growth, leading to an increase in the plant's length and forming the foundational primary plant body. In contrast, secondary meristems, also known as lateral meristems like vascular and cork cambium, develop later, primarily in dicots and gymnosperms. Their crucial role is in secondary growth, causing the plant to increase in girth or diameter by producing secondary xylem, phloem, and the protective periderm. Delving deeper into simple permanent tissues, parenchyma cells, often with intercellular spaces, are versatile, storing starch, oils, and proteins. Chlorenchyma performs photosynthesis, while erenchyma aids aquatic plants with buoyancy. Collenchyma provides flexible support, particularly in young dicot stems and petioles, and is uniquely absent in roots and monocots. Sclerenchyma, with its dead, lignified cells, offers rigid mechanical strength. Fibers are elongated for tensile strength, while sclerates provide hardness, like in fruit pulp or seed coats. Now, for the complex transport systems. Xylem, the water conductor, consists of tracheids and vessels for water movement, xylem parenchyma for storage, and xylem fibers for support. Tracheids are tapering cells, while vessels form continuous tubes, making them more efficient for water transport in angiosperms. Phloem, for food transport, includes sieve tube elements, which lack nuclei but are controlled by adjacent companion cells. Phloem parenchyma stores food, and phloem fibers provide mechanical strength. These components work in concert within the overarching tissue systems, the protective epidermal, the versatile ground, and the vital vascular systems. Challenge yourself with these hard-level questions. How do lateral meristems increase girth? Differentiate sclerenchyma fibers and sclerates. Describe sieve tube and companion cell relationship. Why are vessels more efficient than tracheids? Identify the tissue with pectin-thickened corners. List xylem and phloem components, noting living-dead status. Finally, what's the ground tissue system's role? Good luck! Alright, buckle up. We are diving into the most advanced concepts, exploring competitive depth and intricate biological, engineering insights. Let's explore the sophisticated theories explaining apical meristem organization. The early apical cell theory, while significant for lower plants, was superseded by Hunsaker's histogen theory, which proposed three layers: dermatogen for epidermis, peribellum for cortex, and plerome for the vascular core. However, the tunica corpus theory, widely accepted for shoot apical meristem, provides a dynamic view based on cell division planes. The tunica, superficial layers, divide anticlinally for surface growth, forming the epidermis, while the inner corpus divides both anticlinally and periclinally, contributing to the bulk of the internal tissues. This theory elegantly explains how the plant apex maintains its structure while continuously generating new cells. Let's dissect the roles of intercalary and lateral meristems. Intercalary meristems, remnants of the apical meristem, are vital for rapid internode elongation in monocots like grasses, enabling quick regrowth after grazing. This is a crucial adaptation for survival. Lateral meristems drive secondary growth. The vascular cambium, formed from fascicular and interfascicular cambium, produces secondary xylem inwards and secondary phloem outwards, increasing stem girth. The cork cambium, or phelogen, develops in the cortex, generating cork outwards for protection and secondary cortex inwards, collectively forming the periderm. This intricate engineering allows trees to grow massive and withstand environmental stresses. Now, let's examine specialized permanent tissue systems and their adaptations. The epidermal tissue system includes the waxy cuticle to prevent water loss, stomata for gas exchange regulated by specialized guard cells, and trichomes or root hairs. The ground tissue system encompasses the cortex for storage, the endodermis with its subaised Casparian strips regulating water entry, the pericycle forming lateral roots, and the pith. The vascular tissue system showcases diverse arrangements, radial bundles in roots, and conjoint bundles in stems. Conjoint bundles can be open with cambium for secondary growth in dicots or closed without cambium in monocots, demonstrating remarkable biological design for specific functions. The ecological and economic significance of these tissues is profound. Plant tissues exhibit remarkable adaptations. Extensive sclerenchyma provides resilience against strong winds, erynchyma offers buoyancy to aquatic plants, and thick cuticles with sunken stomata conserve water in xerophytes. Economically, sclerenchymatous fibers like jute are textile staples, while xylem forms valuable timber. Furthermore, meristematic tissues are cornerstones of modern biotechnology. Their totipotency, the ability of a single plant cell to regenerate into a whole plant, is leveraged in tissue culture and micropropagation. This allows for rapid, disease-free multiplication of desired plant varieties, impacting agriculture, forestry, and conservation profoundly. Time for the hardest questions, Part 1. Critically evaluate the tunica corpus theory against the histogen theory for shoot apical meristem. Explain the dual origin of vascular cambium and its secondary growth role. How do Casparian strips regulate water movement? Discuss structural differences and functional implications of monocot and dicot stomata. Finally, describe pariderm formation. Take your time, these require deep thought. Continuing with part 2 of the hardest questions. What specialized functions can sclerenchyma perform beyond support? Explain how intercalary meristems benefit grasses in grazing environments. Compare radial and conjoint vascular bundles with examples. If a plant has a thick cuticle and sunken stomata, what environment is it adapted to and why? Lastly, explain why meristematic tissues are preferred explants in plant tissue culture. Good luck with these advanced concepts. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into plant tissues. We hope you've gained a comprehensive understanding of meristematic and permanent tissues, from basic definitions to advanced theories and their ecological significance. For more such engaging and in-depth educational content, make sure to visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for continuous learning. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep growing your knowledge. See you next time.